session. I'm Dr. Khushbu and I have my colleague Dr. Meha. So we will start with our lecture session. First one is we will invite our moderators on the stage, Dr. Jayendra Piludaria and Dr. Premal Notiswala. So let's welcome the moderators on the stage.
I'll talk about that first. We all know Dr. Premal Notiswala, the past secretary of RADC, and Dr. Jayendra Piludaria, he is an EC member of RADC since many years. Okay. My mind is in harmony with the energies that create health and happiness. So let us begin our session. Over to the moderators.
Hello. After lunch, we are starting our second session of the RADCON 2021. Again, welcome all of you. Now, I am welcome to Dr. Rahul Shah, and I will invite Dr. Jayendra Piludaria to his
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Rahul Shah.
Dr. Rahul Shah is going to talk about the latest trend in the oncology, the benefits of early presentation and diagnosis in the cure rate. So let's welcome Dr. Rahul Shah.
Dr. Rahul Shah, he is an oncosurgeon. He passed MBBS from GMC Surat in 2010. Passed MS GMC Jamnagar in 2014 and surgical oncology from Mahavir Cancer Sansthan, Patna. In 2018, cleared all exams in first trial and gold medal in surgical oncology. He worked as a consultant surgical oncology from 7th March 2018 to 15th January 2019 at Mahavir Cancer Sansthan, Patna. Now working as a consultant surgical oncology at Bharat Cancer Hospital and Research Institute from 12 February 19 till date. Achieved NBE gold medal in surgical oncology in 2018 New Delhi. Fellowship in microvascular and reconstructive surgery at AIMS Kochi in March 2019. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir, for the nice introduction. Can we start with the slide? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a post-lunch session, so I won't be hitting much hard on the scientific part, and as such, there is time constraint. So my topic is latest trends in oncology, benefits of early presentation and diagnosis in cure rate. See, what is cancer, every one of us knows, and the previous presentation by Dr. Hani Parekh, she has clearly mentioned what is cancer and how the cancerous cells become cancerous. So for a layman, what does cancer mean is the perception of individual persons depending on whether he's a layman or a doctor or a healthcare professional, anyone. For a person who has gone through the treatment, it is terrifying illness, and for healthcare professionals and others, it is heterogeneous group of diseases. It is a complex problem in healthcare delivery and public policy. So normal body cells grow, divide, and die in an orderly fashion, as you can see in this picture, but the cancerous cells, they are different because they don't die. They just continue to grow, and that is in disorderly fashion. So now coming back to the question in a scientific manner, the normal cells, they divide in a orderly manner, whereas malignant cells, they've got the tendency to grow unlimitedly. And the properties of local invasion, metastasis, and angiogenesis are the things which give them the edge over the normal body cells to overgrow. We all know about the classification of how we classify cancers, how we stage them, how we grade them. The TNM staging is the standard staging system for cancers. Now, right now it is 8th TNM which is running. What does TNM mean is tumor, node, and metastasis. Depending on that, the tumors are staged, and depending on the stage, the tumors are treated, depending on which organ the tumor is. The global cancer burden is on the rise since the very beginning. When we say in 2010, the burden of cancer was 10.1 million. In 2018, it has rose to 18.1 million. It is estimated that by 2040, it will be 27 million cases detected every year worldwide. The estimated number of new cases in 2020 for males was around 10 million, and for females it was around 9 million. The most common cancers worldwide for female is breast, and for males it is lung cancer. Coming to cancer burden in India, the estimates of cancers which showed that around 17.3 lakh new cases in 2020 and around 8.8 lakhs deaths were there. That means more than 50% deaths occur due to cancer from the incident cases. Top 5 cancers in Indian men are oral cancer, lung cancer, stomach, colorectal, and esophagus. Whereas in women it is breast, cervix, uteri, ovary, oral cancer, and colorectal cancer. Breast has replaced uterine cervix as the commonest cause of cancer in women. When we compare to Indian versus Western world scenario, the death rate in India is higher as compared to Western world. Death rate in India is 68%, whereas in USA it is 35%. The reason behind the diversity in death rates are due to cancer awareness, screening programs, and early diagnosis. These all things gives them the edge that the cancer is cured more in Western world. When we come to Indian scenario, there is a divide between rural and urban. When we see rural, the death rate is around 80%, whereas in urban India it is 38%, which is close enough to the death rate in USA. And the reason behind is the dedicated cancer institutes in rural India are only 5% of the total cancer institutes of India are in rural setting, whereas 95% of them are in urban setting. And the difference is, as I said, because of cancer awareness, screening programs, early presentation and diagnosis, and timely access to quality treatment. Now the 5-year, when I'm giving the example of breast cancer for the survival rates, when for stage 0 breast cancer, it is nearly 100%. Stage 0 is carcinoma in situ. As the stage rises, the cancer survival decreases. For stage 1 breast cancer, it is 98% 5-year survival. For stage 2, it is 93. As we go to stage 4, it goes down to 22% 5-year survival rates. That means when the cancer is diagnosed early, in stage 0, 1, or 2, we can definitely save the patient, and the survival can be up to 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years. So the comprehensive cancer control includes early diagnosis, prevention, screening, treatment, palliative care, and survivorship care. Right now, we'll focus on the certain parts of early diagnosis and treatment only, because there are no community-based screening programs running in India. In Western world, the screening programs for breast cancer, for cervical cancer, and for colorectal cancers and also for lung cancer are running, but it is not feasible for India because of certain cost-benefit problems and the healthcare system issues. Early diagnosis is defined as the early identification of cancer in patients who have symptoms of the disease, whereas screening we do in the patients who are asymptomatic, and we screen them for the undiagnosed, unknown cancer in them. Screening differs from early diagnosis in that entire target population is evaluated for unrecognized cancer or pre-cancerous status. So to ensure that there is sufficient capacity for early diagnosis and treatment is critical before planning to initiate or expand screening services. If we don't have the healthcare system which deals with the already diagnosed cancers, then we cannot go for screening programs to detect the cancers which are not already evident or not symptomatic. Difference between screening and early diagnosis is that the screening is for pre-invasive cancers where symptoms are not yet present, and early diagnosis we deal with when the patient has got symptoms. So basically, what we have to do is we diagnose the cancer early and send the patient for timely treatment. Well, the benefits of early diagnosis, There is consistent evidence that the early diagnosis of cancer combined with accessible effective treatment results in improvements in both the stage of cancer at presentation and mortality from the cancer. The cost of the treatment, the complexity of the treatment, all of these things are reduced when the cancer is diagnosed in early stage. Also, the quality of life which we are able to give to the patient is improved when it is diagnosed in the early stage. In UK, over 50% of the decrease in breast cancer mortality in women under age of 65 was due to improved early diagnosis and the provision of effective treatment. Cancers that are common, which can be diagnosed at early stages from signs and symptoms, and for which early treatment is known to improve the outcome, are generally those that benefit most from the early diagnosis. And these cancers are breast, cervical cancer, colorectal cancers, and oral cancers. This is the graph showing the evidence of early diagnosis impact from the United States. Here, you'll be able to see that before 1970, there were no screening programs in USA running. There were no, the adjuvant therapy for breast cancer also not introduced. But the early diagnosis was the key, and which reduced the mortality incidence ratio from 0.4 to 0.3 or less than that. Whereas after the introduction of mammography, it is still reduced to 0.2 only. It is, they are not able to achieve mortality incidence ratio below that. So the key to prevention of cancer deaths is early diagnosis. Essential elements of cancer early diagnosis, we can divide it into three. Awareness, first step is awareness and accessing care. The patient should be aware that he has got the symptoms, and he should have health-seeking behavior. That I have to go to the doctor and show myself to the doctor so that I can get diagnosed and get treated. Second step is the clinical evaluation and diagnosis and staging, where the role of healthcare professional comes. The patient presents to you, and you identify the symptoms, you diagnose the patient, and you stage the patient, and you send the patient for quality care. That is the diagnostic interval, when the patient presents to you and when the patient receives the timely treatment. And step 3 is the access to treatment, the healthcare facilities, the tertiary care of hospitals where cancer is being treated, that should be available. So it is, for urban India, there are many cancer institutes, but for rural India, it is still not there. So the first step is awareness and access to care, and we can see there are two components of awareness. First is symptom appraisal, that the patient himself or herself should know that he has got the symptoms. And second thing, after knowing she or he has the symptoms, he or she should be ready for going to the healthcare worker for treatment. So patients must be aware of common cancer symptoms. This slide you must have seen in many cancer CMEs with the common cancer symptoms caution up, that is change in bowel bladder habits, or a lesion does not heal, ulcer, unusual bleeding, thickening or a lump, indigestion, that is change in bowel habit again, obvious change in wart or a mole, which leads to melanoma, nagging cough, which is not relieved even after 2 or 3 weeks of treatment, and unexperienced weight loss or anemia. The common organ-specific symptoms I have shown here. The most common cancers which are prevalent in India are breast, cervix, oral cancers, and colon cancers. For breast, it is lump. A lady, when she has got lump in the breast, or any nipple changes, or any ulcer in the breast or axilla, there is lump. These are the common symptoms. For cervix, it is postcoital bleeding or the excessive vaginal discharge. For colon and rectum cancers, it is change in bowel habits. And unexplained weight loss, or she has got the black or red, black stool or red stool, frank blood in the stool. Oral cavity, there must be white or red patch in the oral cavity. Leukoplakia, we say precancerous lesions, leukoplakia, erythroplakia, or frank ulcers, which are squamous cell carcinomas, can be present, and patient may not know that it is there. So the primary healthcare workers who are dentists or other healthcare workers who are having access to such patients should at least screen the oral cavity so that such small ulcers are not missed. Diagnostic interval is the second step of this early diagnosis. Here the interval begins with the evaluation by the healthcare provider at the initial entry point in the health system to establish if cancer may be present. The healthcare provider must have an appropriate index of suspicions whether the patient presenting with symptoms has got the cancer or not. He must have resources to make the accurate clinical diagnosis. Then the patient with suspicious findings for cancer should receive diagnostic tests, and when and where the disease is proved, he should be sent for staging, and then proper diagnostic facility or proper timely referral for the treatment. The steps in cancer early diagnosis, the delays where we find in the treatment are at the patient level, when the patient does not go to the doctor, even if he or she is having the symptoms, he may be having lump in the breast and staying at home for 3, 4, 5 months, and when it bursts, the skin ulcer develops, she may visit the doctor. Again, there may be diagnostic delay. Once the patient has presented, it should be worked as fast as possible so that the disease is not spread. And the access to treatment, of course, the patient should be having a good quality hospital nearby to get treated. The common barriers to early diagnosis, which I have said, the barriers for patient are the poor health literacy, which is prevalent in our country.
Last
Cancer
5 minutes, sir.
Yeah. Cancer stigma, these are the barriers which are present at all levels, from patient to doctor to healthcare facility to government, everything. Delays can arise at multiple points, and it is necessary to identify patients with suspicions of cancer, and it is challenging task for healthcare workers, of course. Healthcare providers may have insufficient time to assess suspicious cancer symptoms because of heavy OPDs they run through the physicians. They have OPDs in hundreds, so it's difficult for them to examine each and every patient. So these are the constraints where the diagnostic delay may happen. Potential interventions we'll discuss in the coming slides again. So what can we do as a healthcare providers is the proactive approach we can take. We can spread awareness regarding cancer-causing agents. What are the cancer-causing agents? We can teach the patients which will come to our OPD. We can teach them to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And again, early diagnosis and proper treatment is the key. When the person is having a symptom which is specific to cancer, he must be diagnosed at the right time and sent for proper treatment. So cancer-causing agents, we all know tobacco is the root cause for many cancers, alcohol, areca nut, that is, then pollution, air pollution, obesity. Obesity nowadays is a menace for health system. Lifestyle, certain viral infections, occupational exposures, and familial causes are also there. So tobacco is associated with lung cancer, oral cavity, throat, esophagus, urinary bladder, pancreas, kidney. Many cancers are associated with tobacco. So passive smoking is also dangerous for the patients. Alcohol is associated with oral cavity, pharynx, larynx, esophagus, liver, colorectal, breast cancer, and many more. Areca nut also associated with SMF, oral cancers, liver, pancreas cancers. Obesity and lifestyle is related to cancers of endometrium, colon, breast, esophagus, pancreas. Certain infections like HPV, they are associated with cervical cancer and penile cancers, oropharyngeal cancers, anal cancers. Hepatitis B and C virus are associated with liver cancers, and H. pylori is associated with stomach cancer. So the health-seeking behavior has to be established, and healthy lifestyle has to be maintained to achieve the level of prevention. So, of course, say no to tobacco. Quitting smoking, we can help the patients to do so by many options like nicotine replacement, avoiding triggers, and physical activity. What you drink also matters. We have, in the pre-lunch session, we discussed about beers and all that. I think neurosurgeons or urologists might be advising beer, and our rheumatologist said the beer is not advisable. So again, it was previously said that alcohol in moderate amount is fine, it is good for health, but now it has also been given caution that alcohol in moderate amount is also dangerous to health. So eat smart, physical activity is the key. Maintain correct BMI, good genital hygiene is important for preventing cancers of cervical origin. Vaccination against HPV infection, the 9 to 16 years old girls can be vaccinated with HPV vaccines, and it has got 100% result for preventing cervical cancer. Opportunistic screening is also the key. When the patient presents 6 months postpartum, a visual inspection with acetic acid for cervical cancer is the thing which has been propagated by Indian government. The National Cancer Grade, which has been set up in 2019, propagates opportunistic screening for cervical cancer, for breast cancer, and for oral cancer. So reduction of both household and outdoor pollution is also necessary for reduction of risk of cancer. Early detection and advice, these are the presentations when the cancer is diagnosed in the later stage. When the patient presents for stage 3 or stage 4 oral cancer, the the result which we are able to give is not as similar to stage 1 or 2 cancer, because the quality of life of the patient suffers as we need to resect more, we need to replace more, reconstruct more. So the functional outcome is not as good as in stage 1 or stage 2 cancers. Again, there is role of screening, which I said for breast cancer, cervical cancer, and oral cancer. Indian government has now opportunistic screening has been advised in 2019. Previously, there was no community screening program or no opportunistic screening also, but in 2019, breast cancer, cervical cancer, and oral cancer has been said to be screened opportunistically. So treatment options, as we all know, is surgical for cancer. There are 3 options: cancer surgery, medical oncology, that is chemotherapy, and radiation therapy. And so a lot remains to do. So finally, I'll conclude with that delayed diagnosis and inability to access treatment contributes significantly to cancer morbidity and mortality. Early diagnosis improves cancer outcome by providing the greatest likelihood of successful treatment at lower cost and with less complex interventions. A cancer death is a tragedy to family and community with enormous repercussions, and by developing effective strategies to identify cancer early, lives can be saved and the personal, societal, and economic costs of cancer can be reduced. So thank you. I have run very fast because I was given very short time. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Good afternoon, sir. I am Dr. Palaksha. I am dentist. Recently, in my clinic, one patient visited. He was having habit since 10 years of smoking and was also having alcohol. It was a minor ulceration in buccal mucosa. So it was a habit, so it did strike that it can be something that can be progressive, but it was an ulcer. So we did give ointment for ulceration and all, and we did say the patient that you please do give us follow-up whatever happened.
Fine.
But due to some reason, he wasn't able to give us follow-up. And after 4 months, he came to the clinic. It was a very big mass. It was a cauliflower shape. We got it that it was squamous cell carcinoma. So what is your advice that if a patient comes with a habit, should we directly say
No.
that go
We
for
should not. We should not directly say that. But when he's having a habit, you can definitely advise that these are the habits which will lead to oral cancers, and the lesions which he was having in oral cavity, he should be properly educated that this can turn into cancerous state. It is precancerous right now, but it can get converted to cancerous, and you need to be there in proper follow-up, and you need to avoid tobacco and alcohol strictly, because if it is not stopped, you are going to develop cancer, and you need to be careful for that. Even after educating so much, if he is not able to come, then there is definitely lack of patient's care for himself. So from our part, we should educate the patient first. What you did was right. You gave the patient medication. What needs to be done is that he should be followed up weekly or twice a weekly, so that you can see whether the ulcer has gone or it has improved, it has deteriorated, it is present or not. Even after giving treatment for 2 weeks or so, if it is not improving, then you should definitely go for diagnostic tests like biopsy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other question, please? Thank you.
Yeah.